All right, we're back. So, number 4. Which set of numbers could be placed in the integers section? Now, we have whole numbers, which is all positive counting numbers. Integers, which is 0, positive numbers and negative numbers, and rational numbers, which include our decimals. So, but integers cannot include fractions or decimals. So looking for fractions, decimals, this definitely won't work. Fractions or decimals, B doesn't work. This doesn't have any fractions and decimals, so that's a possibility. I'm going to put a mark over to the side. 49, 71, negative 98, 0, 352, and 3/4. 3/4 is a fraction, doesn't work. Leaves us with C. Part of that is just understanding your vocabulary. Please study the vocabulary. If you don't understand what these numbers are, go ahead and go back to those notes that we had. Hey guys, I think there's been a misunderstanding. You are always welcome to take home your binders. Please take them home and study if you need to. If you need to take them home to work on your homework, take them home. Just bring them back so that we can put your new notes inside. Over the last 5 years, scientists have been collecting data over temperatures in Texas on November 25th. It was 21 degrees in 2014, 11 degrees below zero in 2015, 10 degrees in 2016, 15 degrees in 2017, and negative 8 degrees in 2018. So we got 21 degrees, we've got 11 degrees below zero, hello, that means it's got to be negative, 10 degrees in 2016, 15 degrees in 2017, and negative 8 degrees in 2018. We're going to label these temperatures on the line with a point and a year. So, negative 11. Well, here's negative 10, so this is negative 11. I'm going to put a little circle there. Hopefully you can see that. And then over to the side here, negative 11 degrees or 11 degrees below zero was 2015. All right, next, negative 8 degrees. Well, 10, 9, 8, or 5, 6, 7, 8 means our point goes right here, and negative 8 degrees was in 2018. All right, got it? Got it. All right, next up, go all the way 10 degrees, right here on our line. Got it, but 10 degrees was in 2016. 15 degrees was in 2017, and 21 degrees, 2021, was in 2014. All right, so now we're going to list the years from warmest to coldest. In other words, the warmest temperature is going to be towards the top, the coldest is going to be towards the bottom. So all we have to do is look at these numbers that we've already planted on the number line and put 2014 was the warmest, and then 2017, 2016, 2018, and last but not least, 2015. All right, if we think about this as a temperature gauge, we see how the temperature rises and lowers. All right. Number 6. Amy's planning a football party on Sunday. The table below shows the amount of each type of snack she bought. Takis, 6½ cups, queso, 15/4, gum bears, 2 3/8, Jell-O, 3 125ths, and tortilla chips, 19/5. Which of the list below shows the snacks in order from largest to smallest? All right, so we need to create these numbers as decimals. 6 5/10 is already a decimal, and so is 3 125 thousandths. But we need to change these others into decimals as well. So 15/4, top in, bottom out. 4 goes into 15 3 times, subtract 12, left with 3, add a 0, and decimal. 4 goes into 30 7 times, subtract 28, left with 2, add a 0, bring it down. 4 goes into 25 times. So as a decimal, 15/4 is 3 75/100. I'm going to go ahead and add zeros so that all of our decimals have the same place value. All right, 2 3/8. Now we know that our ones place is going to be a 2, but we need to figure out what 3/8 is as a fraction or as a decimal in order to write it behind that 2. So 3 divided by 8, that invisible decimal comes straight up. 8 goes into 30 4 times, subtract 28, left with 2, add a 0. 8 goes into 20 twice, subtract 16, left with 4, add a 0, bring it down. 8 goes into 45 times. So 2 425 thousandths. And last but not least, 19/5. So top in, bottom out, 19 divided by 5. 5 goes into 19 3 times, subtract 15, left with 4, add a 0, bring it down. Make sure you bring that decimal up too. 5 goes into 48 times. So we have 3 800 thousandths. I added those 2 zeros just to line it up. Now that they're all in decimals, we can put them from largest to smallest by comparing first our ones place. So the largest ones place would be 6 5/10, which is Takis. So Takis has to lead the group. So B and D don't work because 6 is the largest. Now, we need to find the next largest ones place, which is the 3s. But since there's 3 numbers that start with 3 in the ones place, we're going to move to our tenths place to find the next largest tenth. 7/10, 125, 800. So that 8 wins out. Tortilla chips has to be directly after Takis. Oh, this one says queso, so that doesn't work. All right, let's go ahead and check the rest of this out. Queso is the next, 800 to 750. Then Jello, 103 125 thousandths, and then gummy bears with our 2. Looks about right. All right. Number 7. Blake's goal is to run 24 miles at the end of training. He recorded 5 of his runs while training. The fractions below represent the distances that Blake recorded. We have a bunch of fractions. I told you about fractions. You can either change them all into decimals if that's what you're more comfortable with, or we can look at the denominators and find a common denominator. Now here I see 24, 4, 6, and 12. I know I can get all of the denominators to be 24. So I'm going to draw lines just to make it a little easier. 12 times 2 is 24, so 7 times 2 is 14. So I have 14 over 24. 4 times 6 is 24. 3 times 6 is 18. 6 times 4 is 24. 1 times 4 is 4. This is already in 24, so don't even have to change it. And then 5 twelfths. 12 times 2 is 24. 5 times 2 is 10. All right. We want to go from greatest to least, descending. So greatest number means it has the largest numerator, and we've got 18 over 24, which is our 3/4. So 3/4 has to be in the front, so we can cross out A and C. The next largest, since we used 18, will be 14, which is 7/12. Oh, these both have 7/12. Okay. Next would be 11/24. Well, they both put 11/24. It's coming down to these last 2 numbers. Then 5/12 is 10, right after 11, and then 1/6 is 4. So it would have to be 5/12 and then 1/6, which means that D doesn't work. The answer would have to be B. We were comparing our numerators. So we changed the denominators to all be the same so that all we have to look at is, okay, 10 is less than 11, 14 is less than 18, 18 is greater than all of these, and you don't have to do any of the extra work of changing them into decimals. ABC's The Bachelor selected 30 of the 150 men that auditioned for The Bachelorette. 30 of the 150 men. 30 of the 150 men. What decimal is equivalent to the fraction of men selected from the group that auditioned for The Bachelorette? What decimal is equivalent to the fraction of men? 30 of the 150 men. That means 30 over 150 is our fraction. So, now that we have 30 out of the 150, we're going to divide top in, bottom out, numerator divided by denominator. So, what goes inside the house? 30 is the numerator, 150 is the denominator. This invisible decimal behind 30 is going to go straight up because 150 does not go into 30. But 150 will go into 300, and 150 times 2 is 300. Subtract that, left is 0. So, the decimal that is equivalent to our number is 0 2/10. Now here's what I need you to remember. This is a positive, so we're gonna bubble the positive. We need to pay attention to the decimal because the decimal is where we have the ones place, the tens place, hundreds and thousands, the tenths place, and the hundredths place. In this case, we are working with the tenths. So we need this decimal, and then we need to bubble a 2. That's all you have to do. You don't have to bubble this hundredths place, but you have to bubble the tenths. Please be careful that when you're bubbling this on your test. All right, a climber is 22 feet above the ground where he started. Which point on the number line best represents this location? Okay, 22 feet above the ground. I told y'all about sea level and ground level. When you're talking about the starting point is always 0. And so if you're going 22 above, then you need to be in the positives. So here it's showing, actually it's showing negative 23 below. So that doesn't work because we got negative 20, 21, 22, 23. So that's negative 23. We got 0 here. This is moving 20, 21, 22. That's a possibility. 0. Ooh, 15, 16, 17, 18. 0. Negative 5, negative 10, negative 15, 16, 17, 18. That's a negative 18. Now when we're looking at this, the only one that works, it's not C, it's not D, would have to be B, as in boy. So you have to pay attention to that wording so that you get it right. That is the end of the answers for our Unit 2 review. Please study tonight. I know you guys can do it. All right, you're going to be amazing on this test. Do not panic. You have studied, you have worked hard. We've continued practicing every single day. You have got this. I'm proud of you guys for how hard you've worked, and I know you're going to be amazing on this test. So, good luck. I love y'all. Bye.